Welcome to this restorative yoga sequence. Restorative yoga is all about slowing down and calming the mind. And this particular restorative practice is all around achieving a bit more balance in our lives and understanding maybe that we're spreading ourselves too thin. And in this sequence, what we will do is slow down and have the space to think about how we can use our energy and our time more effectively for ourselves. Restorative yoga is a bit different, it's less intense, and so we'll move through very few poses, but we will hold them for longer and we will be using props. If you don't have the props at home, that's absolutely no problem. Instead, what you can do is use pillows, use cushions, use blankets instead. For our first pose, we are going to take a bolster. If you don't have a bolster, a cushion will absolutely do. And you want to sit up with your knees bent, sitting on your heels, and place that bolster on the ground in front of you between your knees. You can open your knees a little bit wider. And together what we're going to do is take one long inhale. Relax those shoulders down and exhale out of the mouth. We're going to do this one more time with a deep inhale. And this time with our exhale, we're slowly going to fold over the bolster. Coming down to a resting position. And from here, you can begin, if you wish, to soften your gaze. Maybe even closing your eyes. And just allowing your body to relax over the bolster. You can begin by bringing some awareness to your breath. Perhaps you can notice the quality of your breath. Noticing if the breath is fast, is it slow, is it light, is it deep, is it shallow, is it heavy? Just noticing the quality of your breath. Allowing your body to relax. With each exhale, imagine the belly is melting softer towards your pillows, your cushions, your bolster, whatever it is that you're using. Remembering that in restorative yoga, we hold these poses for a longer period of time. This allows the body to fully relax. And if you wish, you can move your chin to face the center of the bolster, and you can maneuver it to face the opposite side if you wish. And remember, you want to be comfortable in this position, so if, for example, your hips feel tight, you can widen your stance out a little bit more, allowing yourself to fall a little bit deeper. If you have a blanket, maybe you can put a blanket underneath your knees if your knees are sore. general, we're just relaxing, beginning this restorative sequence. And again, in this pose, we really want to bring that awareness to the breath. Perhaps you can deepen your inhales. And those exhales melting towards the bolster, the blankets, the pillows, the cushions, whatever props you were using. Whole upper body is softening, feeling the tension relax. And before we move to the next pose, we're going to slowly get up so you can place both arms onto the mat, either side of your bolster, and gently, on an inhale, push yourself up. And then you can exhale, release the shoulders down, maybe turn your neck all in one way in one direction, and repeating in the opposite direction. For the next pose, we're going to go to an assisted bridge position. So you can make your way onto your back. Your back is flat to the mat. Your heels can be about hip distance apart. Whole body can relax onto the mat. And from here, you can do one of two things. One is you can take a block. If you don't have a block, you can take a book, maybe 2 books, and you're going to place the block just underneath you, so by the sacrum. So you're going to place it roughly just above the sit bones towards the very base of the spine. This is one option. You're just going to hold this position and just allow the whole body to relax in this position. Shoulders relax, hands open wide across the body, out from the body, almost as if you want those armpits to breathe. Another option, if you have blankets that you can roll up, or bolster, if you want a higher position for your hips, is to put the bolster in the same position again, onto the sacrum. And do the same thing, and you're just going to allow your whole body to relax. Whereas the last time we brought our awareness to our breath, this time let's bring our awareness to the body. We can start this by either keeping your eyes closed or softening your gaze, whichever you feel more comfortable with. And just begin in this position to scan the body, noticing how you're feeling in this position. Here in restorative yoga, we can also work on that mind-body connection, noticing the signs that your body is telling you. Maybe bringing some awareness to your feet, noticing the sensations as your feet are grounding into your mat or the floor. Maybe noticing any sensations in your toes, your heels, maybe your ankles. Working your way up your calf muscles. Bringing some awareness to those kneecaps. Coming up along your thighs. also going under your hamstrings. And noticing your sit bones melting into the bolster, the block, the books, whatever you're using in the supported position. And come all the way up and just allowing your shoulder blades to soften. Maybe they can melt into the earth. Your shoulders can soften away from your ears. And allowing your arms to open wide away from the body. Again, as if your armpits want to breathe. Noticing any physical sensations in the body. Just observing those sensations, maybe points of tension, maybe even pain, or perhaps even parts of the body that are feeling relaxed. And for any parts of your body that you're feeling strong sensations towards from, maybe consider, what is that telling you? Is there tension in your shoulders, pains in your stomachs, pains in your back, maybe a migraine or headache? Consider for a moment, what is your body trying to tell you? As if it's trying to give you a warning sign, as if it's trying to communicate with you. Begin to think, what can you do with this information? And when you're ready to come out of this pose, you can gently push into your feet to lift your hips off whatever blocks you might have, remove them, and gently bring everything back down to the mat. Hands can be down beside the body. Taking one big inhale and one big exhale out of the mouth. No. For our next restorative pose, you're going to take that bolster or cushion that's behind you, and you want to push it up towards the back of the base of your spine, lower back. For the next position, you're going to take a bolster or a cushion or whatever props you're using in place of a bolster, and you're just going to place it behind you so that when you lie down, the middle of your back to upper back is what will touch off the bolster. So we're going to recline back onto your bolster, and you can bring both your feet to touch. If you have very tight hips or sore knees, you can take a block or a book and place them under your knees or your thighs for a little bit of support in this pose. And here again, once you come into the position, so your feet are together, forming a diamond shape, the upper, mid to upper back is reclining against the bolster. Your head is on the bolster. Maybe bringing your hands to your belly to begin, and let's take some deep inhales and exhales. And exhale out of the mouth. Allow those hands to melt into the belly. Take a second deep inhale. Filling the belly as much as you can. Hold it for a moment. And exhale all the way down and out. And one last time, deep inhale. And exhale all the way back in, feeling your belly button coming in towards the spine. And from here you can restore your breath to its normal pace. You can keep your hands on your belly if you want to be in touch with your breath, or similar to the last pose, you can open your hands away from the body. This is also armpits want to breathe, and allow yourself to relax. And on your next exhale, however deep or shallow it is, simply allow the shoulder blades to melt over the bolster or whatever props you happen to be using. If you are coming into this restorative yoga practice, searching for balance in your life, begin to think, how can you achieve that balance? Consider for a moment, what is out of kilter in your life? Bringing an awareness to the forces in your life, to the activities, to the demands that are on you, that are perhaps overstretching you, or that are causing you to feel like your life is out of balance right now. You don't necessarily need to fix that in this moment, but let's bring some awareness. Take another long inhale and exhale. Allow your body to relax, melt into your props. And from here, we're going to come out of the pose. For your next pose, we're going to bring both our feet in front of us into a staff position. To make this position feel a bit more comfortable, you can take a blanket and place it, roll it up, and place it under your knees for a little bit more support and a little bit more softness in your legs if you have tightness there. From here, what you will do is take your bolster and simply place your bolster onto your thighs. And we're going to take one long inhale together and lift your hands overhead, and on an exhale you can just allow yourself to relax, bringing your forehead on towards the bolster. If your forehead doesn't reach your blanket or your cushion or whatever you're using, you can place a block or another prop onto your bolster. And when you relax down over it, your forehead should relax. Take off my glasses onto the block or the bolster. And here, everything relaxes. Everything is relaxed in this position. And here you can allow your legs to be straight or they can soften, whichever feels more comfortable for you. Hands are soft, upper body is soft, everything is soft. And feel free to adjust yourself in this position as well if it doesn't feel fully comfortable for you. If something doesn't feel right, you can try maneuvering the bolster of your prop closer to your tummy or away from your tummy along the thighs, but whatever feels most comfortable for you in this position. And if your hips feel really tight, feel free to put something under your knees for that little bit of support. Earlier in this practice, you began to think about what is happening in your life that is out of balance. You began to notice things that you are feeling in your body, or perhaps other things are coming to your mind now, noticing why you feel out of balance, why you feel stretched, perhaps why you feel tense, perhaps why you came and watched this yoga sequence around restorative yoga for balance in life. And so when you think about those maybe triggers or causes, what can you do about them? Just noticing in this pose, what can you do differently in your life? Maybe observing what is happening in your life, what do you have control over, what can you do differently? We can't always control the situations we find ourselves in, how people will speak to us, or how people will behave around us. But we can control certain elements of our own life. And so here in this pose, continue to think about what can you be doing differently in your life to restore that sense of balance. And for this whole time, you can keep your head on your block. I'm only lifting to speak because I don't think the microphone is going to pick me up if I'm speaking into a block and a bolster and a mat. And in this position, allow your shoulders to relax. Allow your thighs to relax. soften your feet. Maybe even allow your ankles to fall out. So your right foot turns to the right, your left foot and left toes fall to the left. And in this pose, you can slowly lift your forehead, taking an inhale, and then exhale, relax your shoulders. Maybe allow yourself to slowly roll back up. You can remove your block, you can remove your bolster, you can remove a blanket or any props that were under your knees before we move to our next pose. This is our last pose before we move to a Shavasana. So we're going to do our supported fish pose. So what we will do is similar to last time, our legs are out in front of us and we're going to recline back over a bolster or a blanket that you have layered over maybe 3 to 4 times. And again, you want your kind of mid to upper back to recline over onto your bolster. And similar to what we were doing in previous poses, you can either bring your hands to your belly to become in contact with your breath, or you can allow your hands to extend away from the body, again, as if you want your armpits to breathe. You can soften your eyes, lowering your gaze, maybe even closing your eyes if this feels comfortable for you. And just allowing your whole body to relax. As we move through this restorative yoga practice, we brought some awareness to the body, noticing how we feel physically. We've looked at sensations and what they're telling us about what is happening in the body. Signs of stress, signs of being overstretched, signs that you are not in balance. And lastly, we looked at things that we can do to restore balance in our lives, actions that we have control over, that we can take to restore that sense of balance so that we don't spread ourselves too thin or overstretch ourselves. But here, let's bring some awareness to some beliefs that you might be having about yourself. Why is it that you behave the way that you behave, that you push yourself too far, Perhaps you say yes to too many people. Perhaps you're a perfectionist. Perhaps you're hurrying through life, doing so many different things without taking time for yourself. Bring some awareness to what could be the beliefs that are driving these behaviors. Perhaps you think you're not good enough. Perhaps you don't think you're a professional. Perhaps you are striving for the validation of others, the feedback of others, to feel secure. But as we come through this practice, and you take time out of your day just for you, and only you in this restorative practice, know that you are enough. Know that you are good enough. Know that you are professional enough. And find that security from within, where you feel secure in your actions, in yourself, because of who you are inside, not because you are performing all the time. Knowing that at a certain point, when we perform to so many different people, we are constantly spreading ourselves so thinly that we might be heading towards a burnout, that we might lose our motivation, we might lose our joy, our passion for the work that we do. So take a moment here, thinking about whatever belief is coming to the surface, one that I've mentioned, maybe another one completely, and say to yourself in your head, or out loud in the room, because you're on your own, no one will even hear you saying it, you won't sound crazy. Say, I am enough. I am good enough. I am a professional. Confidence and security come from within me, not from other people. And from this position, you can gently turn on towards your right side, pushing into your right elbow and forearm to just remove the prop that you were under. And you can then return your full body to the mat. And we're going to move here towards a Shavasana pose. So for this, you can soften your legs, bringing both your feet to the edges of your mat, or more than hip distance apart if you're doing it on a floor or a blanket. If you have a blanket, you can pull it over yourself to make yourself feel nice and warm and cozy. You can gently begin to soften your gaze and close your eyes. And have a moment of thanks for yourself, some gratitude for yourself, that despite your whole life feeling out of balance, you've taken this half an hour to be with yourself, to reconnect to yourself, and to do the work, to think about these factors, these push factors, these things that are making you feel like your life is out of balance. It's very easy to go through life on autopilot mode, and it's very difficult to hit pause and to take these moments to connect with yourself. So have thanks for doing that for you. Our theme of today's restorative practice has been around balance, restoring balance in our lives. So take a moment here again to think about what is it that you are going to do to restore that balance. Actions that you can take, like saying no, like finishing work on time, like prioritizing family or friends, having difficult conversations about your workload with a colleague, with a boss. Choose an action that you will take in your doing, and now take an intention into your being, thinking about a mantra, an intention that you can set yourself around being good enough, being professional enough, that you don't have to spread yourself too thin. Take another deep inhale, and take a deep exhale. And from here you can soften your legs, soften your ankles, soften your calf muscles, soften under your knees. Allow those thighs to melt into the floor. Allow your hips, allow your sit bones to melt. Take one big deep inhale into the body, really filling that belly, and exhale. Allow the back, the spine to soften. Allow your shoulder blades to relax and melt into the mat. Allow your shoulders to soften. Allow those arms to come away from the body. Allow yourself to relax. Allow your jaw to relax. Tongue relaxes. Eyes are soft. Forehead relaxes. Whole body relaxes. Whole body softens. Mind relaxes and your mind softens. And here in this Shavasana pose, we will stay here. And if thoughts come into your head, you may release them and bring the awareness back to your breath. This video is about to end, but you can hit pause and remain in this position for at least another 5 minutes, or even for longer, as long as you feel you need to relax.